Ethan was the typical popular and bad boy that all girls wanted to have as a boyfriend, no matter if he was rude to them. They just wanted him because he was attractive. They wanted a dark romance. But for his bad luck of all, if it could be considered so, he already had a girlfriend called Sasha, a redhead with green and white eyes. She was almost like him, but very strawberry, materialistic, and complaining. Everyone hated Sasha and loved Ethan, but you were the other way around, hating Ethan with every fiber of your being and looking up to Sasha, even if they weren't close. The hatred towards Ethan was because when you were little, he discovered your fear of spiders. And it was funny for him to leave several tarantulas in the living room so that when you arrived, since you always arrived first, he would lock you up with all those arachnids. And no matter how much you begged, he would not open the door, which clearly happened, and he didn't until the teacher arrived. From that time, you declared war with Ethan, hating each other without a day of rest. Everyone already knew about their rivalry, always wanting to see what their next attack would be, because each joke was from a classic to a serious one, from the glue on the seat to calling the other's parents for a false emergency. But today, Ethan had received the worst blow, and it was not because of you, but because of his girlfriend Sasha, because he found out that she had been unfaithful to him for 5 months. When the couple arrived, they arrived separately, and everyone wondered why they had arrived that way, if they always arrived together and holding hands. Ethan looked annoyed, because Sasha looked like always. She didn't seem remorseful, even though she already knew that Ethan had already discovered her. What bothered Ethan the most and caused him a thirst for revenge, what Sasha didn't know was that you were going to be part of his revenge. You were so distracted watching social media on your cell phone that you didn't see Ethan approaching you. You only reacted when you felt his lips on yours, and the multiple looks, including Sasha's, who now looked at you with hatred. Ethan's lips pressed against yours firmly, his hand gripping the back of your neck possessively. The kiss was aggressive and demanding, lacking any tenderness. After a few intense seconds, he pulled back, leaving you stunned and breathless. He smirked arrogantly, relishing your shocked expression. "Looks like I've found a new plaything," he murmured loudly enough for nearby students to hear. Ethan turned his gaze to Sasha, who stared back at him with a mixture of anger and jealousy. Sasha stomped over, her heels clicking loudly on the floor. "Ethan, what the hell was that?" she demanded, her voice shrill. Ethan laughed coldly. "Oh, didn't you hear? I've traded up." He wrapped an arm around your waist, pulling you close against his side. "This one actually knows how to keep a man satisfied." His words were dripping with venom and sarcasm. Sasha's face turned red with rage. "You bastard," she shouted. "Make you pay for this." Ethan just smiled cruelly. "I'm already paying." Sasha, 5 months' worth of payments. The hallway erupted into chaos as students whispered and pointed, some taking out their phones to record the heated exchange. Ethan seemed unfazed by the attention, his focus solely on Sasha's furious expression. 5 months. Sasha gasped, her voice shaking with anger and humiliation. "You're lying, am I?" Ethan challenged, his grip on your waist tightening. "Check your messages. I've sent screenshots of every text, every photo, every little detail of your affair. His smile turned wicked. I wonder how your parents will react when they find out their precious daughter is nothing but a cheating slut. Sasha's face paled, her eyes widening in panic. She glanced around frantically, realizing the gravity of the situation. Without another word, she turned and fled, disappearing into the crowded hallway. Ethan watched Sasha's retreating form with cold satisfaction, then turned his attention back to you. His smirk faded, replaced by a calculating gaze. Well, well, he murmured, his breath warm against your ear. Looks like you've just become the center of attention. His hand slid down to rest on your hip, a possessive gesture that sent a shiver down your spine. Don't think this changes anything between us, he continued, his voice low and intense. You're still my enemy, and I'm still yours. But for now, he paused, his eyes flicking over your face. For now, we have an arrangement. Ethan leaned in closer, his lips brushing against your ear as he whispered, play along, and I'll make it worth your while. Cross me. His grip on your hip tightened warningly. And you'll regret it. Asterisk, the bell rang, signaling the start of class. Ethan reluctantly released you, stepping back with a smirk. Until next time, sweetheart. Asterisk, he said mockingly, before turning and walking away. Asterisk, as he disappeared into the crowd, you were left standing there, your heart racing and your mind reeling. The taste of his kiss still lingered on your lips, a bitter reminder of the twisted game you'd just been dragged into. Asterisk, the whispers and stares of your fellow students surrounded you, their curiosity palpable. You knew you had to say something to maintain the facade that Ethan had so abruptly thrust upon you. Don't get any ideas, you snapped at the nearest group of gawkers, your voice sharp and commanding. Asterisk, this doesn't mean anything. Ethan and I were just using each other. The crowd murmured and nodded, buying your explanation. Satisfied, you turned and strode towards your classroom, your head held high despite the turmoil inside you. As you took your seat, you couldn't help but wonder what Ethan's true intentions were. Was this all just a petty revenge scheme against Sasha, or was there something more sinister at play? The rest of the day passed in a blur, your thoughts consumed by the enigmatic Ethan and the delicate dance of deception you now found yourself entangled in. As the final bell rang, signaling the end of school, you gathered your things and made your way to the parking lot, eager to escape the prying eyes and whispered rumors. But as you approached your car, you noticed a figure leaning against it, tall, broad-shouldered, with a smug grin on his face. Ethan, what are you doing here? You demanded, trying to keep your voice steady as you approached him. Shouldn't you be off celebrating your victory over Sasha? He pushed himself off your car, his eyes glinting with amusement. Oh, I am, he replied smoothly, and I've decided to include you in the festivities. Ethan reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box, holding it out to you. Your heart skipped a beat as you recognized it. A jewelry box. What's this? You asked cautiously. A smirk played on his lips as he opened the box, revealing a stunning necklace with a diamond pendant. A little something to seal our arrangement, he explained. Wear this, and everyone will know that you're mine. Refuse. His expression darkened momentarily before returning to its usual smirk. And I'll make sure everyone knows that you're nothing but a liar and a cheat, just like Sasha, he finished, his tone light, but the threat clear. He held the box out to you, his eyebrows raised expectantly. You knew you had no choice but to accept it. Refusing would only bring more humiliation and suspicion down on you. With a deep breath, you took the box from his hand, your fingers brushing against his. For a brief moment, the touch sent an unwelcome shiver down your spine. Fine, you muttered, opening the box and pulling out the necklace. Ethan watched with satisfaction as you fastened the necklace around your neck, the diamond pendant settling just above your collarbone. He stepped closer, his fingers trailing over the jewel before resting on your bare skin. Perfect, asterisk, he murmured, his touch lingering longer than necessary. Now, let's go celebrate our new partnership. Without waiting for your response, he grabbed your hand and started leading you towards his car, a sleek black sports car parked nearby. You stumbled after him, your mind racing with the implications of this arrangement. As much as you hated to admit it, being seen with Ethan would definitely boost your social status, and maybe even give you a chance to uncover some of his secrets. Ethan opened the passenger door for you, his smirk never faltering as he waited for you to climb in. As you slid into the leather seat, you couldn't shake the feeling that you were entering into a deal with the devil himself. But as Ethan got into the driver's seat and peeled out of the parking lot, leaving your old life behind, you realized that it might just be worth it, if only to see him crash and burn in the end. The car sped through the city streets, the wind whipping through your hair. As Ethan navigated the roads with ease, you tried to ignore the thrill that ran through you at the adrenaline rush, focusing instead on the tense silence between you and Ethan. So you said finally, breaking the quiet, "Where exactly are we going?" Ethan glanced over at you, his eyes flashing with amusement. "A little party," he replied cryptically. "Some of my friends wanted to meet you." You frowned, suddenly uneasy. "Friends?" you echoed. "What kind of friends?" The corner of Ethan's mouth twitched upwards. "The kind that aren't as welcoming to outsiders as I am," he said darkly. The car continued to speed through the city, the streets becoming more deserted as they drove further away from the bustling center. Ethan's grip on the steering wheel tightened, his knuckles turning white as he navigated the winding roads. "Relax," he said suddenly, noticing your apprehension. "They're not going to eat you alive." "Probably." He flashed you a wolfish grin, clearly enjoying your discomfort. You rolled your eyes, trying to hide the fear that was beginning to creep into your heart. "Charming, asterisk," you muttered. "Just what every girl wants, to be presented as a prize to a group of strangers." Ethan's grin widened at your sarcasm. "Oh, they're going to love you," he teased. "Got spunk? It's adorable." Before you could retort, Ethan suddenly slammed on the brakes, bringing the car to a screeching halt in front of an imposing mansion. The house was dark and foreboding, its windows like empty eye sockets staring out into the night. Ethan turned to you, his expression serious for once. "Listen carefully," he said, his voice low and urgent. "These people, they're not like anyone you've ever met before. They're powerful, wealthy, and dangerous. If you want to survive this night, you need to stick by my side and do exactly as I say. Understand?" You nodded slowly, a chill running down your spine as you took in the ominous mansion before you. Ethan reached out and grabbed your hand, his grip firm and unyielding. "Let's go," he said abruptly, pulling you out of the car and towards the mansion's entrance. The heavy wooden door creaked open, as if by unseen hands, revealing a dimly lit hallway. The air inside was thick, with the scent of expensive perfume and cigars, mingling with an undercurrent of something darker and more sinister. As you stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind you with a resounding boom. Ethan's grip on your hand tightened, his thumb brushing against your skin in a surprisingly comforting gesture. The hallway stretched out before you, lined with ornate portraits and flickering candelabras. Ethan led you forward, his footsteps echoing on the marble floor. As you approached the end of the hallway, the sound of muffled voices and laughter drifted towards you. Ethan paused at the entrance to a grand ballroom, his eyes scanning the crowd before turning to face you. "Remember," he murmured, his breath hot against your ear, "stay close, stay quiet, and above all trust no one but me."